Bankroll Network, play to win.
Crypto Slow with more crypto gains. What's going on, guys? Week 4 to 7 of Bankroll Network. So let's get right into it. Obviously, everyone is paying attention to this mega dip we had on Bitcoin, and we are breaking the floor. And as you can see, there's really nothing there support wise. We're on the yearly, so the next floor is not looking good. It's in the 5Ks, so 5-6K. You know, breaking this little baby resistance point, if we don't bounce, I hate to say it, but we could be looking at 6K Bitcoin. Let's go all the way out. Yeah, so that next big floor is down there, and that's a long ways down. We don't want to see that, but you know, it's come to grips. It's reality. This only you know, this just really shows you that creating cash flow through decentralized finance is really important, because if you're just speculatively holding on to your coins, your bag, you know, you basically are riding it down. So yeah, it doesn't got a lot of negative divergence, 6 month, 3 month, and just a diddy dump. Yeah, so phew, not looking good. Moving on to TRX, same story. You know, we did have that crossover on the 13. If you look at the yearly, Tron doesn't look bad, but as always with 1334 crossovers, we need to see a confirmation, and that could be the 13 bouncing off the 34. But as you can see, we just had that massive blast through the 34. It was just like a vampire strike to the heart. So, and you know, as we've talked before, the yearly and 6 month, these are very powerful moves. And yeah, it's just but realistically though, from a sat point, let's look at the sats. Okay, let's go back to the yearly. The sats on Tron aren't looking that bad, but unfortunately it is tied to the price of Bitcoin. So the fact that we're at 203 sats is, you know, it's still pretty solid, but overall there is still a lot of red, and Tron is just not getting the respect that it needs at this moment. So we're just gonna have to hold on and see where this goes. Moving on to the bankroll stats. As we said right off the bat, Tron price below 1.4 cents. Yeah, but the sat value is still holding pretty strongly. As you can see, we just kind of had a pattern of down. Moving on to total network, players on bankroll increased a little bit this week, and our total network TRX was actually down. If you still look at the composite average, we are still seeing 3.08% growth on the total network. So you know, obviously when things go down like this, there's always a liquidity squeeze, because you have people selling, which is going to negatively impact some of our stats, as people need to shore up their accounts. But you know, you don't want to sell at the all-time low, right? Total transactions is still looking positive. About 200 people on the Telegram, not bad. Credits, slight increase in players, stagnant on the credits this week, and div pool was down a little bit, but transactions were up. As always, the fact that things are continuing to move is a good thing, because that is the bread and butter of the Bankroll Network, and that is transactions equal divs. So that is a good thing. Moon up slightly. Oh no, Banker, I'm sorry. Banker up slightly this week. Total mined about 20-some thousand. Frozen decreased a little bit. I think this could be related to. I'm not sure if this stat takes into account the new depot, so I'll have to follow up on that. Remaining banker, total transactions, drastically lower this week on banker, which is surprising. Not really sure. Let's actually double check that TX. Make sure that that is right. Seems low. Let's see, transactions 354. Maybe it was a typo. Yeah, it was. 354, 551. I knew that data didn't look right. Do a little copy paste. Alright, 354.51. Enter. Okay, so TX is up on banker. We're fine. So moving over to Moon. 691, 296, price is up, which means we actually had some buys this week. Balance, and that's probably related to the new divs that are being shifted towards Moon. So we should see some better divs coming our way. Total dumps about 80, about 100. Transactions is up. Now, what's the big takeaway from all this data? It is that the network is still growing, transactions are still increasing, and the growth rate is still at a solid 3.3% composite, so not bad at all. Tron Trade, moving on to Tron Trade. A lot of these coins getting beat up. Topia down to 1.69. Brutal. Banker. So banker sitting at 12.4, not too bad. We did have that spike over the weekend into the 15s and 16s. So down just a little bit this week, but I'm not too concerned with it. It's still looking pretty healthy. Volumes are good, and that's really 10,000 banker volume. That's the most important thing. You want to make sure that this stuff is getting turned around, and that's good. So banker, so to touch this, I talked about this in the other video. We have the introduction of the new banker TRX depot. Now, some important things. Number one, the depot pays out a TRX drip for having your banker staked here, and it pays out every 6 hours as TRX. So the original banker up here, you have to pay to get your power level, and then you stake. That's kind of master node-ish, and you get more banker. It mints more banker for the banker. Okay, this pays TRX, but there's no staking master node fee. So if you want to get some TRX out of your banker, but you don't want to pay the staking levels, you put your banker in the TRX depot. Now, there's really not too much complexity to it. You just need to make sure you hit the on switch first, and then you freeze your banker, and then the divs start coming in. Now, some important things. If you hit the roll button, it actively mines banker when your TRX divs roll, and the TRX divs roll to credits. Okay, if you withdraw your divs, you do not get that mining value. So if you want to stack your credits and mine banker at the same time, go ahead and hit roll. Your TRX goes into your credits, and you mine a little banker in the process there. So not much to say about that, but keep in mind that any action on here starts a timer. So you can see I have my timer going. It says 8 hours and 9 minutes. That means if I hit roll withdrawal, this timer resets, and then I have 24, it resets, and then 24 hours later I can make another move. So if you want to stake your banker, put it in the top. If you want to stake your banker for TRX, do it down below. But that's it for this week's update. I appreciate you watching, and as always, this is Crypto Slow. If you're not talking gains, then we're not talking.